Greetings, mobile accomplishers. I am Dieter Bohn, and I am here with Phil Nickinson of WMExperts, and we are in round 3 of the Smartphone Experts Round Robin, and we are, of course, talking Windows Mobile, since we're here at WMExperts. And we've got 2 phones to work with today. The first is the Touch Pro 2, aka the Tilt 2, and the second is the stupidly massive HD 2. Now, Phil, this is your main phone?
That is.
The Touch Pro 2? It is. Now, you know, we've seen in previous years the Tilt 2, so this is actually also technically Tilt 2, so we saw the Tilt, so this does the same sort of thing. And so, I mean, basically, obviously I know quite a bit about Windows Mobile, and sort of the default thing that people say about it is it's there for power users and hardcore users, and it's also old and tired and in need of an update. When you hear that, Phil, do you agree with that it's meant for power users, whereas, you know, something like, you know, the Pixie or the Pre for folks at PreCentral, it's like, oh yeah, that's good for anybody. Do you think that Windows Mobile can still be accessible to someone that's just new to smartphones?
I tell you, it makes me cry a little inside every time I hear that. You know, really, I came from an old Q9H to this.
Okay.
The Q9H, I would say, yes, is for, quote, power users, guys who are just banging out emails all day long. Right. This, not quite as much. I'm not quite as quick to use it. I use the on-screen keyboard as much as I do anything else. Sure. The graphic power of this is much stronger. HTC, I cannot, and I've been saying this for days and weeks now, what HTC has done with Windows Mobile is nothing short of incredible. 6.5 is not bad. It's not nearly as bad as people say, but what HTC has put on top of it just really is stunning. So what is it exactly that we're looking at here? Because this is not what I remember seeing on the Tilt 2 originally. This is TouchFlow 3D, aka Sense, which is what the newer versions are being called. Okay. And it's a skin, it's a today screen item on top of Windows Mobile. This is a program menu that HTC has built in. You know, it's the standard grid that we're all used to on the iPhone and on everything else. But that's just part of it. So you're not just stuck with a grid all day long. Okay. You're bringing up Opera Mobile 10 Beta. That's the Beta 2 that just came out. And this is the best web browser for Windows Mobile these days, you think? It's hard to say there's a best because they're very different. Right. This will render pages pretty natively and pretty well. It's got kind of a weird zoom function that will make them look a little weird, but once you zoom in on them, they work just fine. A lot of people still use Skyfire, which is server-based proxy browser, so everything's rendered on their servers and then shot out to you. This, everything's rendered on the phone. It's fairly quick. It's better than IE, but a lot of people still like IE, and IE is getting better all the time, too. Again, nothing's near as good as Safari, and I think all the platforms are pretty much used to saying that. Right. So well, I got to say, I just typed in on this virtual keyboard here, which I don't think is anywhere near a stock Windows Mobile virtual keyboard, and despite the fact that the screen is resistive, and it is, right? Yes. It's actually pretty darn good. Although you saw me make a bunch of mistakes, but you know, I'm reaching around a camera or whatever. So we'll see what Opera Mobile does here. Okay, so you don't like hearing that it's not good for new users? Yeah, I think the Sense UI really has brought a lot back. It's brought a lot of intuition back. Right. That previously hasn't been there for the last couple versions. Right. Well, okay, so you say that, and I'm totally on board with that, and I agree with you, because the Sense UI, especially when we'll get to the HD2 in a minute, is great, but Sense UI doesn't come stock on this phone, or on any phone in the US that runs Windows Mobile, right? No, it comes stock on this. Well, it comes stock on TouchFlow 3D. TouchFlow 3D. So what's the difference between this and TouchFlow 3D? Not a whole lot. Okay. They're blurring the lines. This is a newer ROM. This is a custom ROM. Right. So the icons are color as opposed to the stock AT&T ROM you get. Oh, okay. So basically, I shouldn't freak out about the difference there. No. For all intents and purposes, it's the same. It's just quicker and a little prettier. And it's what everything will be moving to. Right. So one of the things I really love about WebOS is how easy it is to multitask. How good has Windows Mobile progressed in your eyes in terms of multitasking? Because even with Windows Mobile 6.1, which is the last one I used a lot, I haven't used 6.5 a lot, I would have a little bit of problems. Have they sort of improved that with 6.5? So much with Windows Mobile, it depends on the platform you're on. It depends on the device. In this ROM, that's actually the Xperia X2 task manager that's built into that, and it wouldn't even show up unless there's another program running. So it depends. On my old Q9H, I'd hold down the home button, it would pull up the task manager. Real quick, real easy, didn't have a problem with it. Until they built this one in, you were using HTC's task manager. Some people like it, some people don't. There's so much memory in these phones now, I don't worry about it anymore.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't even bother you?
No, you got 255 megs of RAM before the OS and still plenty left over afterwards. So there's plenty of room to go around. I don't worry about installing apps to the SD card because there's so much storage memory. It just really isn't an issue.
Right. Let's talk about the beast. This thing, if you haven't seen it, it's the HD2 from HTC, and Windows marked, plays for mobile, can't connect. That's okay. So here it is. Mm-hmm. It's a beast, and you know, here it is compared to the Pre. And so you look at the different sizes of the screens, and I mean, my goodness, it's just ridiculous how much bigger this HD2 screen is. I don't even know what to say about it.
You need a minute?
It's just wow. And so it's also capacitive, which is something that is brand new for Windows Mobile.
That makes all the difference in the world. The Touch Pro 2 is very good. It's leaps and bounds better than everything else that's been put out. But glass capacitive, you cannot beat. And I know I'm going to get email after that. But guys, get over it.
It's better. Oh, and look at us. Here's that. And that's another thing that's new for Windows Mobile is multi-touch, right? There's Renee Ritchie, the iPhone blog.
That's not actually baked into Windows Mobile. That's something HTC has put on.
Over at Android Central. Okay, so they baked that in. Mm-hmm. Okay, so we're looking at two... no, there's me. Ooh, look at that. We're looking at two Windows Mobile Pro devices?
Yes.
So what's going on with Windows Mobile Standard these days?
I don't care.
Nothing?
No. there are still a few devices out there without touchscreens, and there's a place for them. And again, that's one of the advantages of Windows Mobile is they're still developing for both platforms. Okay. We'll see how much that continues in the future, but it's important. It's important only to keep the BlackBerry guys honest.
Right. Well, it gets better battery life, too,
It
right?
does. Yeah. It does, and especially with 6.1, it was snappier.
So if I wanted to get to Windows Mobile underneath all this Sense stuff...
That takes a second, but we can do it.
Okay.
We go
settings, menu, all settings.
Yeah, I can't
Not
remember
there yet.
what it is in HTC's.
Oh, hey, there it is.
There it is. Now we're back in Windows Mobile, and we'll turn on the Windows default. Hit that for me since you're over there.
Okay, so we'll turn on Windows default. We got to turn off something?
It shouldn't. I think it does it automatically.
Okay, so we'll hit OK. We'll close that. There's the X button. Oh, and here we got the standard Windows Mobile 6.5. So it looks like all the attention these days is on Windows Mobile Pro and not Standard, and it's also on these sort of custom interfaces on top of Windows Mobile. I mean, how do you feel about that?
It makes me feel bad for the guys at Microsoft who developed this and who did it in 8-10 months and did it very quickly. I mean, it was Yeoman's job doing it, and it's not bad. A lot of people like it. In the older days, I would try not to run something on top of Windows Mobile because it would slow down your phone. With the AC2, that's not an issue, obviously.
Now they're just so beefy that it doesn't matter, right?
And even with things like the Touch Pro 2, you have so much more hardware than you used to. It's better. It's good to have options, and I've said that for a long time. Some people like this more. Some people don't. And
there's, hey man, it's a smartphone right around. We're going to have phone calls in the background.
So if you like it, cool.
Yeah, that's all right.
Sounds like a BlackBerry.
Yeah, it's probably a BlackBerry.
It's good to have the option. And this is customizable as well. You can put plugins in this. You can put other plugins, and we have reviews on those.
Now, I mean, I guess as comparing this to the Web OS, like there's a ton of eye candy here, and it's pretty amazing. But there's also a lot of different Windows Mobile phones, and that's been one of the problems with it. And it's something that's common now with Nokia. We got it with Android. And so, like, I'm not going to get this in the U.S. for a while till the HD2 arrives. Right. I get something like this here, but if I go pick up, say, an Omnia on Verizon, it's not quite this nice, right?
The Omnia 2, not to say it's not nice. The Omnia 2 has an AMOLED screen,
sure,
and an 800 megahertz processor, whereas this one's 500. It's solid hardware. I'm not as keen on the UI.
Right.
Some people are. So again, you got to go play with the things first of all. Don't just take my word for it. Listen to it a lot, but don't just take it. No, but again, you have options, and it's cool to see the different things people are doing.
All right, guys. Well, we will be talking about Windows Mobile the rest of the week here. We'll have my thoughts on what the state of it is at the end of the week. Thanks for watching.